Hey guys, it's Shellybelly. A couple things I need to get out of the way. First thing, I look a lot more rugged and handsome. That's because I'm in the future. A lot of things have changed since this video has been recorded. One of the things being,
Hi.
I live with Jag now. I know it's super exciting, but before we can start recording new content here, we have to get through all of the old stuff. Another thing is all this old stuff is talking about things that have already happened, like the Persona 3 Reload and the State of Play. We already have seen these games have already come out, and we have new opinions on these things, so they might be a little bit different, but because this video is old, we need to watch it and get through it. So please keep that in mind when you watch this. Other than that, we'll see you guys when it does come out. I apologize for the wait. Bye.
Bye.
All right. First of all, before we get into anything, we need to talk about why the episode didn't get posted as early as it did. What happened was I was dealing with a lot of like stuff with school and like streaming and stuff. Like I was recently just making a stream schedule because I'm trying to plan my weeks out more. So I've made a stream schedule so that I have like consistent days I stream, so I can also post content and also do this, because this is the one thing I like doing the most is the podcast. Because with this, I don't have expectations for this. I'm just doing this because I'm just doing this podcast because I enjoy it.
That's fair.
I don't like, if this goes big and I'm that's cool, I'll do it. But like, I don't have expectations. I'm just doing this because I enjoy it.
And it's just like, it's fun, you know? You get to just chat about whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally chill.
So one thing I know you did want to talk about, you want to talk about your dryer. What's going on with that?
Well, okay. Yeah, because I still have clothes next to me drying off because yesterday my dryer just broke, and I didn't know this until I already put clothes in, so I had 2 loads of just wet clothes, like sopping wet. And I was like, this isn't good. You're not supposed to just have wet clothes. So I like called my parents and I was like, hey, you guys had your dryer break the other day, like a couple months ago. And they were like, yeah. And they're like, just lay everything out. And so I did. I like got every chair in the basement, laid everything out across like tables and chairs and everything. There was like pants hanging from like a nail in the wall. Like it was just like the whole basement was covered with my clothes.
That's like common sense for drying things out, though. Why'd you have to call your parents and ask how to dry things?
To be fair, I'm a little stupid, and I was like, so can I just lay them on my bed? And they were like, no, don't do that, you idiot.
Stupid. You're gonna get your bed wet. Are you dumb?
Okay, so yeah, that is why I called.
Oh my god.
But anyway, I got it all dried out mostly, so that was good. Although yesterday I did have to wear just a slightly damp pair of pants, but I don't think anyone could tell. So,
I think it's fine to wear slightly damp pair of pants because they dry before you even get to whatever you're going to do that day.
Depends how damp they are.
How damp were they? Like if you touch them and you give them a little squeeze, do your fingers come back wet?
Like a little bit.
Okay, no, that's not damp then. That's wet. That's wet.
Okay, they were moist. Is that moister than damp?
No, no one wants to hear about your moist pants, man.
Okay. Anyway, I called the landlord today, so hopefully it'll get taken care of. Although to be fair,
on this damp pant, man,
they did take a couple months just to replace the freezer door, so we'll see how it goes.
Wait, so you just had no freezer door?
Well, no, we had a freezer door. The handle came off.
Oh, hot glue that.
Honestly, yeah, I probably could have.
Probably would have saved you some time. Did he charge you for it?
No, I mean, it's all free. It's
okay, that's
landlord's problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's his stuff. Like, it was your fridge, and he'd be like, "Nah, I don't care. Fix it."
Okay, now I also want to talk about this thing because you cut me off mid rant and you said we should just talk about this on the podcast.
Oh yes, because for those of you who don't know, this is gonna be like after it's all already happened, but the State of Play happened recently for us while we're recording this, and I wanted to talk about it because there's some things that seemed interesting, and there's some things that are seem kind of stupid. And one thing we got into the topic of was Persona 3, the new I'm assuming it's a remaster, relaunch, I don't know what it is.
Let me tell you. So, because I started my journey with Persona 5, I was like, "What is this game?" And then that sent me down a dark hole of Persona. So the fun part about Persona is 5 they released, and then they released Royal, which was just they added new DLC, they made it bigger, better, and it's just the full package but complete. Then they like earlier before that they had Persona 4. And then they released Persona 4 Golden, which is just they added an extra stuff at the end, more DLC, like all the stuff was in it, complete package. Play Golden, don't play the original. Play Royal, don't play 5. 3 is a big mess of awfulness.
What is wrong with 3?
They released 3, right? They were the base game, and then they released FES. Well, okay, I'm probably getting the order wrong. There's probably someone out there who knows way more than I do, but they had 2 different versions. They had Persona 3 Portable and Persona 3 FES. Now, Portable was, I think it was it the PSP? I think it was that one, the handheld console. And they removed some of the like walking around section, so it's just a map and you select what to do instead of actually walk around and do it.
Yeah, because I will say like the PSPs were supposed to like rival the DS, but the thing with the DS is the DS was actually releasing full games, and the PSP was just taking the games they already had and just taking out the fun parts of it and then just putting them onto this handheld.
So we got that, and that's what they re-released on modern consoles. Like on your PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox right now, you can play Persona 3 Portable, and it's like fine, it's good. The thing about Portable 2 is they added a female main character, so you can play through the game as a male or a female, and then the dialogue changes and how you interact with everybody is different, which is interesting. But for FES, they also added some other stuff and added different DLC, and you don't have the female character. So they're like, oh, there's 2 different versions. I wonder what they're going to do with Persona 3 Reload. They kind of took bits of both and not everything, which is weird. So there's no female main character, but they still had some of the elements of like the stuff they did in Portable, and then they took some of like, I think some of the DLC from FES, but not all of it because it's still missing a DLC. But some people have speculated it might be coming later. And also, since Persona 5 did so well, they kind of made it a little more like Persona 5.
Oh, it's like
it's kind of
gameplay?
Its own thing. Some of like the transitions and like the aesthetic, it looks a little more like Persona 5. It still retains the Persona 3 feel, but it has kind of more of that vibe of 5.
I'm not gonna lie, a lot of companies have been doing this thing recently where they just take their older games and release remasters or just like relaunch it, which I think is super stupid.
Yeah, you excited for Last of Us Part 2 remaster? That
the
really
one thing I do like about that,
with
the only thing I like about that is you're getting all of you're getting the unplayable things that they took out of the original game. You get an arcade mode, and there's one more thing that I can't remember that you get. But if you already own the game, it's just a $10.
Oh,
upgrade.
really? Okay.
If you own the old game and you want it on
better.
PS5, it's just a $10 upgrade. But if you don't own the game and you want this remastered version, you have to pay like the $100 that they're going to charge for it. Yeah. That's why I don't mind it too much, because I bought the game day one. I pre-ordered the game. But yeah, I really think companies are just doing this because, one, I think PlayStation's doing this a lot recently because, one, they don't have any games coming out this year. As far as I know, there's not a lot of AAA games coming out this year.
There's the Final Fantasy
there's the Final Fantasy reboot. That's the only one I know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think that's all that's coming to my mind too.
Yeah, so like all these and I think I don't know if it's PlayStation going to these companies be like, "Hey, we signed a contract with you. You need to put out games," or if it's like these games are just wanting to like put finishing touches on their games that are already coming out then. Cuz like there's so many that are coming out. There's like Persona 3 Reload, what is it? Yakuza Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth Edition, like
oh yeah.
Like there's just so many games that are doing this. And then there's games that are coming out that just aren't good. Like the Jujutsu Kaisen fighting game, that shit's awful.
Oh.
I've seen so many videos on it and it just doesn't look entertaining. It doesn't look fun. I thought it was going to be like Jujutsu Kaisen, but like the Naruto Shippuden fighting games, because those ones are fun. I like those games.
Man, I hope that. I hope it's good. I don't know. But the anime games can be really, really hit or miss sometimes.
The only one I'm like kind of excited for is the Until Dawn remake. That's coming to PC. I like that it's coming to PC.
Because you're a PC gamer now.
I'm a bit of both. Like I got my PS5 right here.
I'm a bit of both. I'm a all-round gamer.
It depends, because there's some games that I think just run better on console than they do on PC. Like Cyberpunk, I'm gonna play that, and I think it'll just run better on my PS5 than it will on my PC.
That's true. I mean, I was playing. What game was I playing? And it's on everything. But I was like, oh, it can run on my PC, and like it did. But like, I have a laptop, and it's like, it's fine.
Yeah, gaming laptops are very like if you want a gaming laptop that's gonna be able to play these games, you have to go for the expensive ones. And not only that, that's all it can do. You can't be doing anything else while you're playing these games, or else you'll hear like the engine start like, you know.
That's true. I don't know. I open Microsoft, Google Chrome sometimes, and like I go to like a news website, and like 30 million ads pop up, and it still gets the motor running.
Yeah, I know you used to stream off this laptop, and or you tried to stream off this laptop once, and like it would run some games fine, and then you tried to play Danganronpa, and then the whole thing was just
Yeah,
dying.
it just broke everything.
Yeah, I still don't understand. I wanted to ask you, why did you choose to do that one on the PC when you could have done it on the PS5 like you've been doing?
Let me tell you, there's a story for that actually, because it was because of Spike Chunsoft and what they did. Because on PlayStation and I think Xbox, or on consoles, if you tried to stream the game, they put that content blocker so it wouldn't actually stream the content. So I was like, if I stream it through my laptop, I can get around that. But it just wouldn't work.
I forgot about that because that did happen. There would be times when so I used to stream off my PS4 before I used to stream on my PC because I didn't have a PC. And one thing that used to happen every once in a while is like while you're loading into a game is usually when it happens. It'll block out the title, I think is what it is. Something
well,
about
like some of the logos or like the information, how it's just, like brought to you by blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
logos are information. Like if you pulled up your own personal information, that because on PC it'll block it for you, but on consoles it won't do that because they just assume you're not streaming. So PlayStation does it for you. Like if I bring up like my internet settings while I'm playing Call of Duty, it'll block that immediately because it might show my IP address. But there's some companies who don't do it properly and they just put their logo everywhere. So PlayStation's like, oh, there's a logo here.
Well, so it's not only that, but because they wanted to limit spoilers. So they're like, oh, people are going to spoil Danganronpa. Let's put it after like chapter 1. So you can only play chapter 1 and then it would block everything after
Which
that.
I will say, good fucking job. Like, I still haven't played the third one and I still don't know how it ends.
I think the fan base is fairly good on that game.
I think that's the only fan base I've met where they don't spoil the game for other people. Like I had somebody come in and straight up spoil like a part in Last of Us Part 2 while I was streaming it. He's like, "Did you get to the part where blah 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 blah?" And I was like, "Bro, why?" I was like, "What's the point? What do you gain from this?" Like I don't know. It's like I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both, but it does suck. I wish there was like, it wouldn't be nice if they did a timer. Like, you can play up to the first chapter for the first 6 months, and after that, everyone can just stream everything or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, did I tell? Oh my god. Okay, going back to the topic we were talking about before, the games that are coming out are they just don't seem exciting. Like Death Stranding 2. Did you see the trailer for Death Stranding 2?
It's
like an acid trip. It's an acid trip. This weird mime comes on the screen. He's like, "Hello, brother," and then he starts shredding his electric guitar and killing robots. Like it's so confusing.
Did you play the first one at all?
No, because it was just a fucking walking simulator. It didn't look exciting.
Okay, I have a hot take.
You enjoyed it?
No, I think because everyone praises Hideo Kojima for like all of his masterworks, but
I do too. I think he's made some amazing games over the years. But I think Death Stranding was not one of them.
I haven't played a game I've liked of his, but also I haven't played many of his games. So
I will say you was he the one who made the Metal Gear Solid series?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he was. So I played, I think it was 5.
So here's what it was: is I was really into Phantom Pain. And I was like, Jared, I think you'd really enjoy this game. You gotta play it. It's super fun. And, like I played this for hours, and I could just do it from another 5 hours after that. So Jared buys the game, and I'll let you take over from here.
So I boot it up. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I create my own character. That doesn't matter. And then I'm like, I load in and I'm like, oh, wow, okay, this is kind of cinematic. There's all this stuff happening. And then for some reason, like when your guy runs, the camera shakes. And also like the game starts with like so many explosions and everything. And like everything is just moving. And I was playing the game and I was just like, and I just like vomited.
Yeah, so those of you who don't know, Jared has some motion sickness issues.
Like a little bit, but it's usually not bad. Like I don't vomit while playing games.
His motion sickness issues are very, very specific. Like if he's in the back of a car, if he doesn't have a fan on him, he can get motion sick.
Well, and I figured that one out. It's usually like if I'm like not, I guess maybe looking down at things.
No, it's the same for me. If I'm looking at my phone and not paying attention, and there's just like erratic turns going on, then I get motion sick as well.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten to the point of throwing up. And then, but which is also weird because Jared can play VR games fine.
I don't know. I think maybe if I went back, I think the game might be fine now. But also,
I don't know. It's so Metal Gear Solid is one of those games where you have to be like into it. You got to be like really, really into it to play the game.
I know. I mean, they did release the collection recently where you can start from the beginning and get into it. So
the story's so confusing.
That's true. I watched the Donkey Explains All video, and I still don't understand.
Oh, it's a great video though. Great video nonetheless. There was one game that was coming out that actually did interest me. I gotta figure out where it was. Dragon's Dogma 2. That one looked really interesting and fun.
I've heard a lot of good things about the Dragon Dogma series. I bought the first one on Switch and I haven't checked it out yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Like just watching, that was the first game that I saw in like the state of play. When I watched a trailer and I was like, that looks fun. Like that's something I'd boot up with friends and be like, yeah, let's go fucking kill a dragon, you know? Like it just seems interesting. And then I didn't end up watching the last bit of it because I got bored.
I did want to touch on Sonic X Shadow.
Ooh, people that one seems fun.
Google that.
No, don't
nothing
Google
bad will
Sonic
pop
X
up.
Shadow, please. If you're gonna look
search
for
off,
go on Google Images.
Yeah, there you go. No, why did they name it that?
No, because it's Sonic X Shadow Generations. It's not just Sonic X Shadow.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Oh, can we talk about the freaking the PlayStation Splatoon game?
Oh, Foam Stars.
Foam Stars. That's literally just PlayStation Splatoon.
But I don't think it looks as good.
It doesn't look as good.
I heard some people had played it, and apparently, like, unlike Splatoon where you're just painting, like the foam is like 3-dimensional, like you can like run on it and like go everywhere. So like you can like stack a bunch of foam and like climb all over it.
That kind of makes sense. Is that what they're doing better? Is that that's why you should buy ours instead of Splatoon vibes?
Better.
Yeah, it's interesting. Then there's also Dave the Diver. I thought that was just like mid until fucking Godzilla came out of the water. Like, it was.
Have you heard anything about that game before?
No, I hear it's really.
Oh,
fun,
really? Yeah, it like came out on PC. I mean, it was up for indie game of the year last year for the Game Awards, and I heard everyone who played it says it's like really good.
Ooh, another one that I was excited for, Judas. I was excited for Judas.
Mm.
It was made by the people who made BioShock, and that's why I was into it because I really loved BioShock Infinite.
I've heard a lot of good things about Infinite. I tried playing the first one.
BioShock Infinite is a mindfuck. Don't play the first two. Like if you want the
just
play
Infinite.
Play because Infinite's its own thing. It's not that they're not part of the story for BioShock 1 and 2.
Okay, maybe I'll just have to
like you can play a BioShock 1 or 2 and still get that story, but BioShock Infinite is its own thing, as far as I'm aware. Which is it's like kind of a mindfuck. It's kind of a mindfuck, honestly. And I think that's the only games I wanted to. Oh, Stellar Blade, that one looked fun. That was the waifu one I told you about.
Oh,
where they kind of like, you know how like some games will just like take a waifu and give them a sword, and then they'll put like a bunch of monsters and like a dystopian future in them, and that's like every like dystopian future game these days. Yeah,
pretty much.
Because what was that? It was like Nier Blade Automata. That was like the Stellar Blade now. There was one game I watched you play that was the same. I don't remember what it was. I want to say no. It was Nexus something. What was it called? Nexus something.
Oh, Scarlet Nexus.
Scarlet Nexus. That one. Good. They just give waifus and like male waifus just like swords and everything, and put them in a dystopian future to fight either A, robots, B, monsters, or C, monster robots. You know.
That's my favorite type of game, honestly.
I feel like they're all the same, but I can't really say that too much because I haven't played any of them. I haven't played any of them, so I can't really talk too much. I think the state of play was very. I think they had some hitters, but not enough for it to matter. It just seemed like they were just trying to
Hang
show.
on, I'm re-looking at this trailer again. Wait, this looks good.
For what?
Stellar Blade. Yeah, no, I'm into this.
Yeah, I thought you'd be into it. Like the entire time I was watching that trailer, I was just like, this seems like something Jared would like.
I know, because I talked to you after you watched it, and you're like, "There's a few things I think you might like," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah,
okay.
there was nothing in there that screamed like I want to play it. It was more just like if it goes on sale, I'll buy it. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's my favorite time for buying games.
The only one I might do
sales.
is Until Dawn, because I technically played it when I was younger and I never finished it because there was a jump scare that really scared me, and I was like, nope, fuck, nope, done, I'm done, I'm done. I was like, I'm done, nope. I just didn't vibe with it, you know.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. Has there been any games on sale that you've got recently that you were like, that was a fun get?
On sale?
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 was on sale and I bought it. And
Is
I
it
didn't
good?
like it, so I returned it.
Oh. Did you try out the new control scheme? How they made it like Smash Bros?
I did. It's not like Smash Bros.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. Ooh. No, that's why I didn't like it. And then it was also just like there was already just so many people playing who were better than you, and they didn't really have skill-based matchmaking or anything like that. So I was just going up against people who were better than me. And also, I just felt like I was doing a bunch of attacks and everything and landing them, and I just wasn't doing the damage that my enemy was doing because he knew something that I didn't.
That's
so
fair.
It's just like, not for me.
That's my favorite time to get in fighting games is like right when it launches, because then you're like kind of at the same level. I mean, there is people who played the previous entries usually, but like
like
you're
multiverses,
at least on the same level.
We were doing fine in multiverses.
Yeah, we were good until they close the game.
Yeah, we'll be back. We promise. It's like when your dad leaves with the milk. Like he's probably gonna come back, but we don't know.
It's they said they are.
They said they were, but so did my dad. So we'll see.
There was one I picked up on sale. Have you heard of this game, Monster Prom?
No. I've heard of Monster Prom.
It's fun. It's like this multiplayer game. So I got like me and my roommates together, and the whole thing is you have to like date these monsters and try and get one of them to go with you to prom. And so you're all competing to get a date to prom, and it's absolutely wild. And then I learned that they had 3 in the series. Like had multiple entries.
There was multiple Monster Proms.
Well, there's Monster Prom, Monster Camp, and Monster Road Trip.
Wow. That's crazy. That's like when you look at like Sharknado and you're like, how did they get 5 movies?
They must be doing something right.
Honestly. That or there's just one guy who's just got like hella pockets and he's just like, yeah. Maybe it's like the main guy who's in every movie. He's like, I will put my entire paycheck into the next movie.
I feel like that happens with some projects though. They're like, oh, this was his passion project. He just loved it. And it's like, yeah, all right.
I think so too. Do you think if you had a passion project, what would you do? Like, would you do like a Persona movie? Would that be your vibe?
Oh, what would I mean, I think I would just like develop my own game. I would like hire people and just like make a cool game. I think that would be a passion project.
Game. But let's be realistic here. Me and you would be like doing the creative shit. We don't know how to do anything else.
Well, exactly. I debated that in like university. I'm like, oh, should I go into like game design or something? And then turns out like it's a difficult field. There's like it's just a lot. There's a lot. Yeah, not necessarily technical stuff, but like the competition to like be successful in that field there's so many.
I hear it's just a lot better to just join like already big like
well, and then even then, so like last year, like the game industry is wild because last year was like one of the best years for gaming. Like there were so many big games, there was a lot that released, games were so successful, but there were like so many people laid off from multiple different developers and journalism and like just everything in the game industry. So
yeah, like even just crazy. Recently, like Riot Games laid off like what was it, 33% of their staff?
Exactly.
Or something along those lines.
They're reporting it's like gaming's doing better than ever, but also we're laying off everybody.
The only thing about that one is I don't mind the Riot Games ones because they gave them a really good severance package.
Yeah, I mean, that's
like
fair.
All of those people are fine. Like they're all going on Twitter like, hey, I need a new job and everything like that. But like I don't like honestly with the severance package they got, I don't think they're in a rush.
What is it? They even give them like a free computer too if they didn't have one.
They let them keep their company issued laptops is what it was.
Yeah, that's
if you had a company issued laptop, you got to keep it. I think it was you got a certain amount of money because that's how severance works. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I'd have to pull it up.
We pay your severance in candy corn.
Let me actually pull it up. Oops.
But yeah, no, game industry seems great, but it's scary every time I look at it. It's like, oh my gosh, they could just keep laying people off.
Yeah, here it was. So their severance pay was they would offer a minimum 6 months of salary.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
Cash bonus. So you offer a cash bonus of 1 times 100% of everyone's individual annual performance bonus. So like what they would get for their annual bonus, they give them 1% of it or 100% of it. Their health benefits, they would stay covered until their last day of employment. And they're offering an additional $1,000 to cover these types of expenses. So things like their they had a play fund and wellness fund that they offered to like people who were there, and they would offer like $1,000 to anybody who was going to be relying on that in the future.
And
then people who had shares got to keep them, like who had shares in the company. Anybody who had work computers, they didn't have to return them. They would immediate access to job placement services, so they would help them try and find new jobs. And just things like that, like I think they did it really well.
Not too bad. I'd like.
Yeah, it wasn't 33% like I made it sound like. It was 11% of the staff, which is still a huge chunk. Don't get me wrong. For a company that big, that's still a huge chunk. And I think that's one of their better decisions that they've made in the days. Like if you look, like I really hate the way they do their esports. For Valorant specifically, the way they do Valorant is kind of dumb. Because the way it works is they have tier 1, which is like the best of the best. That's where people play at like the Kia Center for the championship. And then there's tier 2 and there's tier 3. I think what they do is you have to perform super well in tier 2 to get into tier 3. But what happened was last year, someone in the tier 2 team got good enough so where they could challenge a tier 1 team and take their place. But then they got shut down. They shut down the team. And instead of giving that spot to the next tier 2 team, it just fizzled out and disappeared. It was gone. Oh. So they had to wait till next year to retry for it.
Another year?
Mm-hmm. It's just, I think it's super dumb. Like, I think they should just do it like everybody gets to compete. Like, they can have qualifiers and then they move on. The people who play good in the qualifier, who may be better, who tier 2 teams who may be better than some of the tier 1 teams, can actually have a chance to compete,
That seems like it makes sense.
That makes sense to me. I think that's what I want to do. I eventually want to be able to make like a big event that everybody knows about, like I want to make a cool like event, whether it be esports or just like game awards or anything like that. I think that'd be fun.
That's my favorite thing. I know some people hate on him, but like Jeff Keighley, because he was just like, I think games should have awards, and then he was just like, I'm gonna start the game awards. And then he also has, since E3 died, he's been also doing the Summer Games Fest. So he's like, yeah, a big award, like big announcement time, Summer Games Fest. Yeah, that's
fun. Like I there's one thing that I've always wanted to go to. It was PAX East.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about PAX.
And at first I didn't really care about PAX, but now I've realized I'm only like an hour away from Boston now.
Really?
Yeah. Like an hour drive. Like I could go to PAX East if I wanted to. Which is crazy really to think about, right? From us like living in this small town, like the closest thing we got to go to like a cool convention was like Fan Expo or like Animeathon. For those of you who don't know about Animeathon, amazing place. I've only been there once, and if I could go there again, I would. It's super fun, super dope place.
Cool conventions, but like PAX is like one of like a big one for gaming.
A big one. Like they like announce games at like places like PAX. And they do like tournaments and stuff too. I'm not actually sure 100% what they all do. I do know they do cool stuff though, and I do know a lot of content creators like to go there, and I'd like to go there. I think it'd be fun.
Interesting, man. I didn't realize you were like an hour away. That's crazy.
Yeah, so honestly, I might go. I haven't decided yet. That's more to convince my friends if they want to go, because like I don't have a car.
Let's see, an hour drive, but how long of a walk?
I don't know. My whole thought process behind it is if we were gonna go to the convention, we would go for all the days. So we'd probably spend the night there. At least I would if they were me.
Yeah, I mean that just makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe there's a bus that goes from here to there. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Well, hey, so I had these other things written down. I don't know if you want to touch on any of them, but I was like brainstorming topics. Okay, I'm ready. I'm primed.
I think we covered everything that has to do with the state of play.
So, I wanted to talk to you about this great thing called the McRib. have you heard? Have you ever tried the McRib?
Have I tried the McRib?
Yes.
No. I'm a very plain Jane guy. Like when I find something I like, it's what I buy.
So this has not been in Canada for 10 years. But they brought like yeah. So I tried this when I was like 12, like 10 years ago, and God, I ate it all the time.
Oh. Oh, I hate thinking about that. Oh.
Yeah, we're like adults.
Oh, I hate that.
And I tried it with like my great grandmother because she loved this thing. So like every time we had the chance, we would drive down to like the closest town that had a McDonald's, which was like an hour and a half away. We'd drive over there, me, my dad, my great grandma, my sister, we would all have the McRib, and it was great. Every week they had it. It was amazing until they took it away and then never had it again. My great grandmother has since passed away and never will get to try the McRib again. And they have now brought it back. So I ate it for like a week.
You ate a McRib for a week?
Yeah.
Like you had a McRib a day?
For like a week. Yeah, it was like...
That's crazy. Like, yeah. That had to be so much money.
It's not... The sandwich is like $6, I think.
Yeah, but that's $6 for a week. 6 times 7, that's $42. That's almost $50, Jared.
I mean, that's like, what? That's fine. That's a meal. That's whatever, you know.
You're paying $42 for a meal? Where are you eating?
Haven't you been to some restaurants? You get caviar on that
the restaurant
stuff?
we used to work at? Ooh, that place was expensive.
That's fair.
that place was expensive, and the food was like... It was good, but definitely was not worth the price they were putting on there.
No. That chicken sandwich, I crave sometimes at night when I'm sitting alone.
Do you ever go there when you're ever, like, back in the city?
So me and my family were there, and I was like, hey, you guys never tried the restaurant I worked at. Do you guys want to go in and, like, check it out? So we went there, and then we went in, and then it was like, oh, wow, yeah, it's kind of busy in here. And they're like, yeah, it'll be, like, an hour wait. And I was like, ooh. And then we were like, okay, let's go to Burger Heaven down the street. So we did.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what we had written there.
I'm a very easy get to please. I remember I was in the city with my two friends, and they're not from Canada. One of them was from the UK, and the other one was from Australia. And we go to it's kind of like the place we used to work at. It's owned by the same people. I don't know if I can say the name. I don't know if that's really doxy, but it's like a chain, so I don't think it really matters too much.
I don't know, whatever, the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant. It was owned by the same people, so it was kind of the same vibes. We go there, and they both order like steaks. Like my friend ordered steaks and sushi, and my other friend ordered like steak frites and like just like a whole steak meal with like a whole salad afterwards. And then I'm just sitting there with my chicken tenders and fries, and they're just like making fun of me, like, why did you get a steak? And I was like, because I don't know. I was like, I can't afford. I was like, I don't have the money for a steak. You got money for a steak? So they're just like making fun of me. Like they even took a picture just like of their food side by side with mine. I was like, I feel like I'm being made fun of. I don't like this.
I mean, look, I feel that. The place I go grocery shopping, they have like this little deli section where they have like chicken tenders and wedges and stuff they make like at the deli. And so like I'll go, I like grocery shopping there because I'll do my groceries after work, and then that'll just be my meal for the day. Is I'll just pick up a thing of chicken strips, and I'm like, you know what, I'm living. This is good, actually.
I want to get an air fryer specifically just for those, because the way our dorms are set up here is the only ovens you can use are like, you have to go all the way downstairs, and I'm on the 6th floor.
What cooking utensils do you have in your dorm?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. We have no cooking utensils. Everything is downstairs.
Oh, you don't have a microwave again?
We have a microwave.
Okay.
So I've only been buying like microwavable food, but I want to get an air fryer so I can buy just like frozen fries and frozen tenders and just cook those in there.
That's true. Another good one is like a toaster oven. Those are pretty sweet.
He has one of those, but he doesn't. My roommate has one of those, but he doesn't clean it.
Ooh,
yeah. So I'm like, I don't like to use it because then I have to clean it. Like he even has this Brita filter, and I was filling it up because I was using it often. So I was like, every time I use it, I'll fill it up. But then he stopped filling it up because he just noticed I was the only one doing it. So I'm like, I'm just not gonna fill it up. Neither of us gonna have water.
I mean, you should do what my one friend does. He just buys bottled water, and then you're just.
I might. I was thinking about it. I just don't want to lug it back because like the store, the grocery store is like, it's a 5 to 10 minute walk depending on how cold it is. Yeah, and then I gotta carry this big thing. Like I do have my little granny crate, but my crate of water won't fit in that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
that's the nice part about.
I have been thinking about it. Like once I do get one, like I definitely will just like keep doing it, you know.
It's a nice part of having a vehicle because when I go to the store, I stock up on like drinks like iced tea and Dr Pepper, and then I have my mini fridge. But it's easy to load it into a truck and not a little granny cart.
Yeah, I remember like we used to when we used to live together. You used to just like have like stacks of them, like just stacks of juice. Like you go in there and it's like nicely organized in his mini fridge, and then you're like, oh, what do you do when you're not though? He's like, oh, lifts up his bed, and under there's just more juice and like more water under there, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, my backups,
So he would only have to go to the grocery store like every like almost once a month because he didn't go through these quickly.
Well, yeah, I'm not just chugging them down. You gotta. It's like a wine, you gotta sample it.
You just call apple juice a wine?
It's a type of fruit juice.
You say that like wine is just grape juice. It's not.
It's spicy grape juice. Like,
isn't wine like, I don't know how wine's made. Isn't it fermented?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. So I'm right. I see. I'm a wine boy.
Yeah, they just sit it out too long, and then
they just put it in a barrel and they let it sit out in the sun for like 2 hours, and they're like, wine.
Look, we get there's a lot more to it, but yeah, basically.
I always like see people come in there like, oh, this is a aged 50 years a beautiful wine like Cabernet, and I'm just like, you made me drink old shit. Where's your new stuff? Can I get new?
Like, they do that with cheese too. They're like, this is aged cheddar, and I'm like, give me the new stuff.
But all cheese is just mold. Okay,
that's fair.
And then they get like the moldy stuff, and they're like, this is the best of the best.
I used to think I hated wine because my grandparents would buy the cheapest like box dry wine, and yeah, and so I thought wine was bad until I went to Cuba. And then they were like, "Oh, would you like red or white?" And I tried both, and I'm like, "Wait a second, I think wine's good, actually."
Yeah, like expensive wine is good. I've heard. Just like, I haven't tried it.
Sangria also very.
When it's
good.
Not in a box, it's fine.
Yeah, that's the differentiator. Is it coming in a bottle or a box? If it's a bottle, you're usually good.
Yeah, if it comes in a bottle, like, I'll give it a try. I'll try it. We are coming up on 33 minutes here. I don't know how much longer you want to keep going for.
I don't know. I had a couple more topics if you wanted to do a couple more.
Let's do one more and see where we're at.
Sure. Sounds good. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to touch on was this movie I went and saw over the weekend. Because did you see The Kingsman?
No. I haven't watched either of them. I want to. I just haven't gotten around to.
Okay, well, this new movie is in the same universe as The Kingsman. It's called Argyle. I don't know if you've heard anything about this movie.
Is that in the same universe?
It's in the Kingsman universe.
I did not know that. I've been wanting to watch. I've been wanting to watch Argo, but I did not know it was in the Kingsman universe.
I mean, it's kind of like the end credit scene, but look, it might make you more interested in watching it. The thing about this movie is there's some really goofy stuff. There's one scene, and I wanted to tell you about this one scene, where one of the characters, they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're surrounded by enemies, and the whole floor is covered in oil. What are we gonna do?" And then they're like, "I've got this," and they put knives on the bottom of their boots and then skate across the oil while beating up all the enemies.
That's not how knives work. That's not how oil works. You can just skate on oil normally. You don't need to put knives on your feet.
No, they take like some combat knives and just stick it to the bottom of their boot.
Is the oil like poisonous, or do they just not want to get their shoes dirty?
Well, no, all the enemies are slipping on it, so they're like, "Whoa, we can't." But they're like, "I have a knife, so I can slide on it."
That's not how oil works. That's not how knives work. How do they even stick it on there?
They took the boot and then went. And then that was it.
That's not how knives work. Like you're in a secret agent movie and you don't think to have just like, oh yeah, my shoes are portable skates. Like, no, let's stick a knife to my boot and now I can skate.
That was like the goofiest scene. To be fair, it visually looked really good. Like the cinematography of that scene was really fun to watch. But also the whole time I'm like, that's not how this works.
That's fair. I did want to watch it. I didn't know it was in the Kingsman universe though. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that until the end. Then they were like, "Oh yeah, the Kingsman," and I'm like, "Oh!" Well, it turns out this director who directed the Kingsman and this movie, he's like setting up a whole like spy universe, and so he plans to like direct some more movies in like this Kingsman universe.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm actually like I'm more interested in the movie now.
It was kind of fun. There's like the first half, it's longer than I thought. The first half was like solid, and then the second half there's like 72 plot twists, so just be prepared for that.
Oh, I'm so excited for plot twists. They're my favorite.
Oh, and then I also wanted to tell you about what happened last week because I had to do 2 morning shifts because the other guy who does his was sick, so I had to fill in for him. And the problem with that was I was like, oh, I'll wake up a bit earlier. So I woke up at 3 in the morning, which is fine, whatever. Usually I wake up at 4.
Yeah.
The problem with 3 though is I woke up, I got everything ready, left the house at 3:30, and I'm like, I'm gonna go pick up some food because I'm gonna be hungry. So I'll get breakfast. It'll be great. Turns out
anything's open at 3 a.m.
Nowhere serves food at 3:30 in the morning.
Like maybe McDonald's.
I roll up to Tim Hortons and they're open. And I'm like, hey guys, what's up? Can I get a breakfast wrap? And they're like, sorry, we don't serve food until 4 a.m.
Yeah,
and I'm like, but they have donuts and coffee?
Yeah.
Who wants donuts and coffee at 3 in the morning?
So what happens for Tim's, as far as I'm aware, is because I worked at a Tim's, but I didn't work at a 24-hour ones. From what I think they do is they cook enough so that it lasts through the night. And then I don't know if they throw it out in the morning, but
I can always tell though, because like, what is it? One time I showed up a bit later, like at 5 in the morning, and I could tell they had just made the fresh donuts because all the chocolate stuck to the bag.
Oh, I hate that. Like, I wish they could just put in the effort. Like, so Tim Hortons has the bags and they have the boxes. What they're supposed to do is if it's sticky, they're supposed to put it in the box so that nothing sticks to anything.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think that's so dumb.
Whereas other times I'll like show up at like 4:30 where they still have like last night's donuts, and like it doesn't stick as much because it's the old frosting, which I like the fresh donuts, but I almost like the old frosting because then it's
almost like the perfect time to go there is at like 7 or 6, depending on what kind of donut you're getting. Because if you're getting one of like the more fancier donuts, they cook those later. Like they do the ones that everybody buys first. So they do like Boston creams and the chocolate dips and like chocolate glaze.
Yeah, that's what I always get as the chocolate dip because it's like it's easy.
I do too. There. It's easy, and they always have it. Like no one ever wants a chocolate dip, and I'm like, oh.
Although I've been enjoying an apple fritter recently. It's kind of been good.
That's fair. Apple fritters are pretty popular. Same with honey crullers. People love honey crullers.
Did you try the blueberry fritter?
No, I don't eat any of the fritters. I just get chocolate dip. I said this. If there's no chocolate dip, I get a chocolate glazed.
I bit into the blueberry fritter, and it turns out it's filled with jelly.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and it surprised me.
There's a muffin that's filled with jelly, too. It's called the carrot cake muffin. Oh. That's filled with jelly.
I love carrot cake. I need to get that next time.
It's a carrot cake and walnut muffin, and it's filled with jelly.
Well, that's what I'm ordering tomorrow. Okay, cool.
And then they might not have it because it's a specialty one. And then they also have a chocolate hazelnut muffin that's filled with I think it's either cream or chocolate, one of the two. Yeah,
all right.
Most people don't realize that one's jelly filled until they bite into it.
I need to go next time I'm at the drive-thru, just be like, hey, what can you fill me up with? What's filled with jelly?
Hey, what do you fill?
Yeah, what do you stick inside it? Tell me.
That's the end of this podcast today. Clearly we're getting unhinged. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys, I'm sure we'll be talking about the next thing that's happened. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe Nintendo will do a direct or something. I don't know. We'll see.
The Switch is dead.
The Switch is dead. The new Switch is coming out. It's called Switch 2. Did you actually see the specs on that before we go?
I haven't seen the exact specs, but I know people are like, it's looking pretty good.
People were looking at the patent, and it's supposed to be like, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. It was like something that you can I don't know. It was super, I have to look it up again. I'll look it up for next episode.
Next episode, Switch 2.
Switch 2. Woo! Yeah, I think that's about it.
Bye.
Bye.